Have you actually heard that XRP can actually reach $35,000 or even $50,000? Do you think it's actually possible? To understand that, you need to know some numbers. You need to break these numbers down and ask that question, will this be ever possible? Right? So let's dig in. For that, first we need to look at what is the total Earth worth. So that's $5 quadrillion. This is based on 2020 and you get the number 5 quadrillion. So when you talk about a $35,000 XRP, that literally means with the current supply of 48 billion, $35,000 XRP puts it $1.6 quadrillion. So when someone else say $50,000, that's like $2.4 quadrillion in the current supply. And if the supply is the total supply, consider some burn, it's 98 billion, then you're going like $5 quadrillion. So that is actually worth the total Earth. You can buy the entire Earth with that money. Fine. Now the question comes like, okay, then does it actually make sense for XRP to be at these numbers? That's a lot of steam from the head. But now let's look at these. Total value of the stock market, $93 trillion. And then the total value of real estate market, $25 trillion. Now we are looking at different assets, fine. Total value of the gold right now, 12.5. But we have news that we have found new gold supply, so it may increase, fine. But it's not going to go to $100 trillion. Then the total value of silver, 1.1 trillion. Total GDP of the world, 85 trillion. So you're going through one by one all of these financial assets and then the entire asset class, and then looking at what are the total global assets worth. It's $2.2 quadrillion. So coming back, $35,000 per XRP at the current supply is 1.6 quadrillion, right? So the total global assets, it's 2.2 quadrillion. Then you're looking at the total cross-border payments, which is currently around $200 trillion. Now, next up, which is one of the important point here, is the Forex market. So right now, this Forex market, it's like $5.5–6 trillion a day. If you put that into perspective, that literally shows like somewhere around $2 quadrillion. Now, you are saying, okay, that's the entire SWIFT system. So if you take over the entire SWIFT network and the transactions with the current supply, that gives you $1.6 quadrillion. So you need 2 quadrillion and you're saying 1.6 quadrillion. So you may say, okay, $50,000 XRP, maybe that's possible. That's like, okay, that's too much. You don't actually need $5 quadrillion there. So that seems a little bit too much for the total 100 billion supply, and with the just current supply saying, okay, there is a chance that they are going to burn the entire supply in the escrow. And if that turns out to be the case, now if you go look at XLM, they have done this. They have burned 50% of their supply in the bear market. So it is possible to do that. Now, if you are taking that position, then you can say, okay, this is going to be $2.4 quadrillion. You need $2 quadrillion right now. So in the next 2–3 years, the value is going to be $2.5 quadrillion. So does it really make any kind of sense? Now you can be the judge and ask like, okay, do you really feel like it's going to reach these numbers? Or do you feel like the entire transaction in the SWIFT network is going to be taken over by just Ripple? Now, let me make one point. Here in this market, you have 20,000 assets. 99% rubbish. It's going to be wiped out. I completely agree. But you do have assets, right? You have XRP, you have XLM, you have XTC, you have Quant. You have various different assets which make sense, right? Even if you say in this 100, it's just 1%, that's 1,000, 10 and 10,000 and 100. So you literally have 200 assets which are going to survive for different marketplace. Fine. Inside which XRP is one, and I believe it will be the king. Agreed, but you still will have ministers and other important participants in the market. So saying everything will just move through XRP ledger, that's, maybe possible at one point in time, but you can think properly, right? You can be the judge. And I think like saying this half of that XRP ledger is going to absorb is going to be a little bit too much. But if the regulatory clarity, this is the only chance, if the regulatory clarity comes through the court settlement and it becomes like XRP is the only asset after Bitcoin, which is deemed as non-security, then yeah, you now have all the banks, all the financial regulated institutions jumping onto this wagon. Why? Because you just listened to Brad Garlinghouse recently saying we are getting adoption outside US. Right now it's only just one bank in US we just signed recently, but dozens outside US. Why? Regulatory clarity. So once that regulatory clarity goes in, yeah, there is a possibility in the meantime, when others are still trying to get onto that wagon, this may run higher. But now I'm not actually speculating that we are reaching this high. I'm trying to make a sense of whether it's worth it or it's just hype. So you can be the judge and ask this question like, okay, this is the total market. This is what it will look like when XRP reaches those values, big numbers. And if you feel like, no, that's too far-fetched, great, that's cool. And if you feel like, no, that is possible one day, now the question is, when will that one day come? You look at Europe, you have a lot of bank which is already running on SIA, which is like, quant partnership. They do over ledger, and we recently saw over ledgers thinking about XRP ledger as settlement. That's actually bullish, showing whichever network it's going through, it's going to come back to XRP ledger because of its settlement mechanism, atomic swaps, and how it actually works, the scalability. Now, three key factors. You need it to be secure, you need it to be interoperable. These two are the major ones which XRP ledger kind of takes it through. The security is there, interoperability is there, and then comes the third leg, which is the scalability. This is super scalable. Fine. So in this point, you can say either 50-50, but the time for that is unpredictable. Unless you get SEC case coming out and saying, okay, this is done, this is not a security, then yeah, this is coming soon. But if not, this is going to drag on. And by that time, you have some other asset which is being classified as non-security. They're taking the market share. So that dynamics will always work like that. But still, XRP price is going higher. Maybe not to these levels, but still it's going much higher than where it is right now. So guys, if you learn new ideas, concepts from this particular video, hit that like button for me. And if you want to learn from a new video, you can actually jump onto this particular short segment, or else you want to go to a long fundamental, current analysis and technical analysis session, you can go to this particular video. That's it guys. I'll meet you on the next video. Bye-bye.